Raleigh, North Carolina is a popular place to move to for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, we're just a short drive to either the beach or the mountains. We've got a mild climate and a really strong job market that's built around the Research Triangle Park. But lots of people that move to the area to work at the RTP are confused about where to live. So this video is about the most popular areas or suburbs near Raleigh that are convenient to the RTP. So if you're someone that's moving to the area to work at the RTP, this video should be an excellent resource to help you better understand the area and the housing options available to you. I think the best way to kick this video off is by showing you where the RTP is located, and then I'll talk about the different suburbs and specific areas to focus on. All right, so if we look at the map, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the RTP is right here. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. You can see I've got it filled in. Let's talk about Durham. Durham is a place you really have to consider if you're working at the RTP for a number of reasons. One, it's going to be the most affordable place to live. Your average price for a detached home is going to be about $450,000, and that's the median price. And a townhome, $364,000. So that'll be significantly less than any of the other places we'll talk about. Durham is really second to Raleigh. I think the population of Durham is about 280,000, give or take. Raleigh's about 500,000. Durham's a big city. Durham used to be really big in the tobacco space and was once called the tobacco capital of the world. All the major tobacco companies are here. And the downtown area in Durham is going to be right up here in yellow. You see I've got South Durham at the bottom, and then where it says Durham, that's actually going to be downtown Durham. And that's where you're going to find all the old tobacco buildings. And that's a major difference between Raleigh and Durham, is in Durham, its roots are really like in textiles and tobacco. All of these old warehouses, they've converted into office space. And it really has a very cool vibe. But as you can imagine, a tobacco warehouse isn't going to be as conducive for maybe a new tech company that's moving in. And if you'll notice, if we go to the map, Durham has lots of ways into the RTP. Like for instance, 885. This runs all the way through the park. This actually turns into 147. And this is really Duke University in this area right here. This is downtown Durham. This is a straight shot. This is about 10 minutes right here to the RTP. But in this area, they're building lots of apartments right here. And you're going to be walking distance to downtown. So this is going to be a really cool area, really hip vibe. You're going to be near Duke University. So it's going to have a college feel. This is South Durham. And with South Durham, you're going to have Interstate 40 or Highway 54 that'll both lead you into the park. Good connectivity, and this is going to have a similar feel to Raleigh in many ways. Cheapest housing is going to be right in here, and you're going to be right on the park. So depending upon where you live, either in South Durham or downtown Durham, at max it's going to be a 15-minute commute to the RTP, so very close. Now let's move on to Chapel Hill. So Chapel Hill and Durham are connected by this road 15501, and they're also connected by 54. So if you live in Chapel Hill, you can take advantage of everything Durham has to offer downtown-wise, park-wise, etc. Likewise, if you're in Durham, you can take advantage of everything Chapel Hill has. And Chapel Hill is going to have a totally different vibe than downtown Durham. So looking at Chapel Hill, what we're really talking about is this area right here. But let me pause and tell you one thing. You see this Carolina North Forest cutting right through the middle right here? That's Carborough. So you've got Carborough that's right here, and you've got Chapel Hill over here. And Chapel Hill does extend down to here. I'm combining Chapel Hill and Carborough. You're about a 23-minute commute to the RTP from Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill, according to Niche, has one of the very best school systems in the entire state. Chapel Hill is going to have that small town feel. It's got a population that's about 60,000. So it's really going to be one of the smaller areas that we're going to talk about. University of North Carolina Chapel Hill, of course, is located and is really the centerpiece of Chapel Hill. And remember, this is the oldest public university in America. Chapel Hill have a different vibe than Durham. Both of them are kind of artsy. As far as college towns are concerned, it's very refined. These are two prestigious universities A lot of cultural aspects. It's a very cool place to live. So if you want a smaller city that really has everything, the price for a single family home in Chapel Hill is going to be on the higher end of all the places we'll talk about today. $750,000 for a single family home and $355,000 for a townhome. All right, the next area we're going to talk about is Northwest Raleigh. And Northwest Raleigh is going to be just above the pink circle. That pink circle is the RDU International Airport, and North Raleigh is going to be the most convenient area other than Morrisville to the RDU Airport. The small circle to the left of Northwest Raleigh, that's Briar Creek Country Club. Circle that because Briar Creek's a good option if you're someone that's flying in and out of the RDU Airport all the time and you play golf and you want to live in a golf course community. Really nice master plan community, about 2,000 homes in Briar Creek. Median price for a single family home in Briar Creek right now is $1.2 million based on that last 90 days of sales. But I'll tell you, if you're in a price point that's, I'd say $600,000 to $1 million, you can find something in Briar Creek. If you're looking for a townhome, $470,000 is the median price. You have almost an equal mix of townhomes and single family homes in Briar Creek, but that will put you in the closest proximity to the airport and the RTP. I think the drive to the RTP is 9 minutes, and to the RDU International Airport is probably the same, just because once you get in the airport property, you've got all these loops and stuff you got to go around. But to be on the airport property, you're going to be in there in less than 5 minutes. So I consider everything on this side of 40 all the way to Highway 50 Northwest Raleigh. For the purposes of being close to RTP, I've circled this area right here. Sorry, pop-ups keep coming up. Circle this area. That's the area I would say to focus on. The average price for a home in this area, and there was about 60 properties that closed in the last 90 days, $520,000 for a single family home and $402,000 for a townhome. Townhomes are going to be hard to find in this particular area. There's only 8 of the 60 sales were townhomes. I think you get a lot of house for your money in this area, and it has a true suburban feel. The downsides to this area, to get into Raleigh, to get to downtown Raleigh, it's going to take you longer from this area. It's probably going to be one of the longer areas to get to downtown Raleigh, I would say, from. So there's Publix that's opened up out here. Don't think you have a Whole Foods out here yet, but you have Harris Teeter's, really nice area. You've got a nice mix of homes, and right around this Highway 50 area, you've got some luxury multi-million-dollar homes that are new construction. So I've got some videos of that if you look at the North Raleigh luxury homes. Critical to be near 540 if the commute's important to you, because once you get on 540, it is an expressway, and it is very fast. So just remember that if you're somewhere in this area, you have to be on the 540, or you're going to have to get to 40 in order to get that fast commute time. It's going to be predictable because it's so big. All right, so we covered Northwest Raleigh. We talked about the airport. Now I want to tell you about 2 areas that are going to be further away. Here's 2 reasons why you would want to consider them. One, if you're moving here and you want a high-end luxury apartment, these 2 areas are going to have lots of apartments, and they're going to be in areas with tons of stuff to do. So if you're a younger person, or you're somebody that likes to go out to restaurants, likes to go to the bars, likes to have places to walk around, see lots of people, meet people, North Hills is a great area where you can find an apartment, brand new luxury apartments. They're going to be expensive, and downtown Raleigh also has them. Both areas, North Hills, you can also find detached single family homes. Not really many townhomes or condos. Median price for a single family home is going to be $652,000. A lot of the older homes were built in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, or they're new construction. If they're new construction, they could be anywhere from $1.5 million to $3 million. But a really cool area, walk around, exercise, tons of stuff to do, easy connectivity everywhere. But this is going to be about a 22-minute drive to the RTP. Think of downtown as apartments, condos, and single-family homes. The commute to the RTP from downtown Raleigh is going to be about 25 minutes. It's going to be the longest commute, but in reality, 25 minutes is really not that bad for a lot of people. You're going to be in the middle of everything. Tons and tons of food options. North Hills, you have a lot of food options too, but this is going to be the most. This is going to be the highest density of all. Lots of apartments here. There's condos, so the living situation, single family homes in downtown Raleigh, detached, averages $600,000. Now, I did a broad area. So there are going to be plenty of houses that are going to be much more expensive than that. But that's going to be the median price when you look at this area in kind of a little bit broader terms than just what downtown might typically be. But all these homes will be just right on top of downtown, walkable. The condos in downtown, those will all be right in the middle of everything. $476 is your median price for condos. All right, now let's talk about Cary. And let me zoom out here for a second. You see Cary is a pretty big area. This is all Cary highlighted. Morrisville's kind of right here in the center. RTP's right here. So let's focus on what I've circled is inside really here of Highway 64. Here's Highway 64 because this is Apex out in here. So I want to focus on the area inside Lake Crabtree and, you know, in between West Cary and Highway 64. This is an older section of Cary in general, built anywhere from mid-60s, 70s on up to, you know, the 80s. Got McGregor Downs in this area. You got downtown Cary. You got areas inside the Cary Parkway, which would have been a later area. But in general, the price for a detached home in this area is $502,000. Obviously, there'll be some that are a lot higher, some that are lower, but in general, $502,000. And the price for a townhome is $350,000. So not bad pricing in here. Of course, you've got all great amenities, nice restaurants, plenty of shopping, and Cary, of course, has great parks. Got a really nice quality of life in this area, about a 15-minute commute to the RTP in general from this area, but I would put it high on my list. In the new developments, downtown Cary is really kind of an up-and-coming area, so that would be included in this area. And Fenton right here, that is kind of a new area that they're building that's going to be comparable to a Cameron Village or a North Hills. In my opinion, Cary's got a lot to offer. So this would be a great area, 15-minute commute to the RTP. All right, the next area we're going to talk about is West Cary. And that's going to be in the center here, closest to the RTP, you have Morrisville, and to the left of that, you have West Cary. And you'll notice I've got a little gap in between the two. And that's really because Morrisville and Cary really kind of, they're just all kinds of pointy little areas that you don't know if you're in Morrisville or you don't know if you're in Cary. Honestly, Morrisville feels like Cary. I would almost consider it, if I lived in Morrisville, I don't know if I'd call it Morrisville or Cary because it's all about the same. Prestonwood is kind of in that Morrisville area, West Cary area. But we're going to talk about West Cary. West Cary's over here really kind of runs along this 540 right here. See the 540? And this area out here where it says Cary Park, this is West Cary, and on this side of it, it's West Cary. And this 540 really flies into RTP. It's a new section, and the commute is going to be quick. Now, here's the downside. It is an express tollway, so you get on there, it takes a picture of your license plate, and they will mail you one of these, and it's a toll or whatever, for however long you were on the expressway. No big deal, but that's the way they pay for it. On the other side, North Raleigh side, there's no toll. So that's a downside, I guess. You can get an easy pass or something which makes it a little cheaper. Not a big deal. What you will find in West Cary is newer housing, and a lot of people that work in the RTP are going to live in this area. So you'll have high-end luxury homes, you'll have townhomes, and it's on the newer side, and you're close to the RTP. I'm going to tell you this area, what I find particularly neat is if you're living in this West Cary area, you can cut through on 751 to Chapel Hill. So you're close to Chapel Hill. You're close to Durham, because remember, you can get on this 540 and you fly. So you can easily jump right into Durham, or you can be in Raleigh. So living right here, you're able to take advantage of all three of these cities almost equally. And that's really powerful because Chapel Hill is an incredible small city to go out in for drinks or to go to a nice restaurant. They got some really cool ones. Downtown Durham, same thing. Raleigh, same thing, but completely different vibes. So if you live in this area, not only are you close to the RTP, but you can take advantage of all that these three cities have to offer. Plus, you're close to Jordan Lake right here. Very close, just by going out 64. So just a very short commute to Jordan Lake, which is a really nice lake for recreation, very big lake, for boating, beaches, all that stuff. So good quality of life right here in this area. Plus, depending upon your area, in general, I think you'll find that the homes with the assigned schools are going to be highly rated based on niche. If you look at them, elementary, middle, and high school. Now there's several different schools in this area, but for the most part, they are highly rated in this area. So another plus. Median price for a detached single family home, $831,000, and for a townhome, $501,000. So gonna be on the pricier side in this area right here. Gonna be more expensive than Cary, older Cary, for sure. Morrisville is really going to be this little area right in here, and it's really not going to feel like its own town. I mean, it doesn't have a downtown area. They're talking about building one. I don't know why it would really matter. 20 years ago, there was nobody hardly in Morrisville. There was probably 1,200 people. It was just really a point where you cross some railroad tracks. But I would consider, like I said, part of Cary. It is a very nice. So it's all been developed recently, and so it's super nice. Very similar to Cary. Very clean. Schools, highly rated on niche, so nothing to discredit Morrisville. Morrisville, same thing with West Cary. You're going to be super close to Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh. I will say that I believe West Cary gives you a little bit more options for getting to Chapel Hill, and that's pretty cool to be close to Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh. But Morrisville's close too. So Morrisville's good. Your typical price for a detached single-family home in Morrisville is going to be $690,000, and for a townhome, $475,000. The closer you get to the RTP, generally the smaller the home or the townhome is going to be. Price per square foot is going to be the highest. If you're thinking about moving to the Raleigh area and you'd like some help finding a home, please feel free to reach out to me by phone call, text, or email, and I'd be glad to help you. And I'll see you on the next one.